sequence designed and ready to rock. So there'll be some funky new moves and new sequences coming your way fairly soon. Also in exciting news of things that are coming up, we have got some new merch. So we have got some new t-shirts and some new crops. So they're all on the website. So yeah, I've been absolutely loving my What a Planker t-shirt. Yeah, so we've got loads of other bits and pieces on there as well. So do go take a look at that. Also, if you're joining us on Facebook or Insta or any of the other platforms and you want to get a bit more involved in the RISE virtual experience, you can head over to our website, rise.co.uk online, and you can see all of our virtual membership options there. That means you can jump into the Zoom room, have access to our tunes, and we also have our own RISE app, RISE TV, which has all the live classes, all of the on-demand classes, and it's going to have loads of new and extra content adding in there in terms of how-to videos, courses, stuff on nutrition. So it's going to be your one-stop shop for all things RISE. So if you're interested, do go over and check it out. Hey Dad, you alright? So I'm very well, thank you. Yes, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. All right, cool. See you in a bit. Don't disappear, John. So, as that's evidence, you can join over into the Zoom room and I can say hi and I can see you in ahead. So we can keep an eye on what's going down. We can chat to the other people in the Zoom room. So yeah, head over to our website if you want to find out more. If you've got any questions, or if you're a member, virtual member, and don't quite have your app working or anything like that, do just always feel free to get in touch. The other thing we're finalising for members at the moment is going to be RISE Live outdoors. So we can all be together again, but at a safe distance in parks around Sheffield. So that is in the pipework. Really looking forward to seeing you all in real life again soon.
You needed so much health and safety. Insurance, 5 million of insurance they want. I don't know what they expect.
5 million, wow. So yeah, so Chris and Jen are currently being absolute heroes and working through all of the paperwork. Chris has Jen. Yeah, so that, watch this space. So if you're a RISE member or a virtual member and you have any questions, get in touch. If you're a RISE member in Sheffield, do look out for our live classes. If you'd like to get involved in any of those and aren't yet a member, just head over to our website or drop us a Facebook message, anything like that. We're always happy to help. Likewise, if you do have any questions after class about moves, about poses, anything that doesn't feel right, any questions, do always feel free to get in touch. Still here and always want to chat. So there we go, those are our main public service announcements. Who we got coming into the Zoom room? Hey Mum, oh we've got Paul. Cool, awesome stuff. Hey, awesome. So yeah, this is Pilates 6. We've got new Bliss, new Pilates coming up soon. Also that started this week in terms of new and exciting things. We've added an extra sculpt class into the schedule because always time for more sculpt. There is always time for more Pilates and yoga and always time for more abs and weights. So sculpt on 5:30 on a Tuesday. So now we have the return of the super combo Sculpt and Power, Pulped, as I like to call it, back on a Tuesday night. I love Pulped, it's my favourite combo. And we've got a nice little chill out session after that as well if you do feel like doing a triple. So that now we have Flex on a Tuesday morning, Pilates on a Wednesday morning, so they've had a little switcheroo there. And we've got a new Sculpt class added in on a Tuesday. We've also now got Sculpt on a Sunday, that's been there for a few weeks. So hopefully, yeah, lots of different options if you are a fan of that class style. If you haven't done it before, essentially think yoga, Pilates, weights, fusion, lots of weights, extra work getting into the back body, those areas of the body that are harder to get into with body weight alone. So yeah, do check that out if you haven't tried it yet.
I didn't mean you had to spend 6 minutes in public service around.
I can do it, Chris, I can do it. This is my audition for Price Drop TV. Oh, there's always RISE news, always. Hey Matt, I see Matt's jumped into the Zoom room. I'm looking forward to seeing Sid as well, the cutest little lab in town. Boom. All right. So yeah, super exciting. Oh, who else we got joining in there? Oh, we've got Flora. Hey, Flora. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Oh, always nice to see everyone. Oh, this is great. Cool, exciting stuff.
Here he comes. He's re-woken up from his audience. Come on, Matt, you've got 40 seconds.
Oh, we've got Bridie in the house. Oh, look at that. We've got a full O'Neill family turnout. Ka-ching, we've got Toby. And we've got Sid. Most excitingly, we've got Sid. Oh, what you're missing at home if you're not in the Zoom room, this is reasons to get into the Zoom room, is a very, very, very cute black lab pup.
It's like bringing your dog to yoga.
It is bring your dog to... Oh, there's also going to be, at some point, I imagine, a very cute little fluffy white thing. Oh, gosh. Stop talking about dogs. Start doing Pilates. Right. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks all so much for joining. Come on down when you're ready. And find your way to a supine bound angle pose. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Relaxing the shoulders and the hips. Deep, full breaths in. And so you're all super welcome on into Pilates this evening. So remembering Pilates is all about building strength in those muscles that support healthy spinal alignment. All about developing healthy posture. So thinking about slow, controlled, squeezy movements. And do remember you'll get the best results working at a level that suits you. So we're going to start off down here, working on lower abs and a bit of glutes. Come up to some standing work. Some prone work, and then back down to lower abs to finish. When you're ready, we're just going to take 2 more breaths here. Really deep inhale. Exhale. 1 more really deep, full inhale. Exhale. Perfect. From there, drawing the knees in towards each other, giving yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. Just saying hello to the lower back, to the hips. Stretching out. Taking a deep breath in. And out. From there, we're going to start off with pelvic rolls. We're going to go straight into our lower abdominals. So planting the palms down by the sides, engage the core. Remember, Pilates, want to find a nice squeeze through class and try and hold it throughout class. A nice little squeeze there, heels in towards the bum. And then we're going to squeeze the abs to lift the pelvis off the mat and then slowly release down. So the back of the neck stays long, squeeze the abdominals, feel that squeeze of the abs, draw the top of the hips towards the lower rib cage, and then we're slowly releasing. So finding that squeeze. Remember, we're aiming to not swing the legs up, but squeeze the abs. Don't worry about how far you're coming off the mat. It's all about finding that strength, all about finding that control. So really, really squeeze it up. See if you can hold at the top and slowly set it down again. So just starting to warm up the body here, start to feel into all of that control you have over the pelvis. If you'd like to make this harder, squeeze the core to lift the pelvis off the mat, then extend the legs and then lower down with straight legs. Heels come back in towards the bum, squeezing the core to lift, then extend the legs and then slow, controlled lower. If you'd like to make it harder again, heels to bum, squeeze the core to lift, extend the legs, slow, controlled lower, and then we can add in a double leg lower. Just lowering the legs as far as feels good for you, and then we're squeezing the core, come on in, lift, extend, and lowering down. So make sure you're only lowering the legs as far as you keep the lower back on the floor. If you just want to start off with pelvic rolls, don't feel like you have to push to that higher extension of the exercise. If it's not good for you yet, we're aiming to really just start to power into the abs. Squeezing the core, moving with control. Well done. Working here for 5. So squeezy, controlled movements. 4. Well done. 3. Think about that squeeze, that power. 2. 1 more little squeeze and lift. And lower down there. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And then from there, planting the feet down on the floor, back of the neck is long, shoulders relaxed, strong core. Ground down, big toe, little toe, heel. And then from there, engage the glutes, slowly start to roll up vertebra by vertebra, letting the chest come to the chin, so dynamic bridge. And then we're slowly rolling down again with that same level of control. So knees, ankles stay in alignment, squeezing the glutes, really slowly rolling up, chest to chin. and then rolling down again with that same level of control. So similar to our pelvic lift, we're just starting to feel into all of that control we have through the spinal position, to rippling all the way up the spine and lowering. We're getting more into the quads and glutes here as we keep the knees, ankle, hips in alignment, squeeze the glutes, use the quads to control that position and roll down. Perfect. If you'd like to add in the arms, just let the arms float up over the head as the hips lift high, and then we're going to slowly lower down again with as much control as we can. Awesome stuff. Working here for 3. Squeeze the core, chest to chin. 2. Nice work. 1 more lift. And lower. Perfect. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch in there. And then from there, we're going to work into a double leg extension. Palms face down, so back into lower abs. Knees in towards the chest. We're going to extend the legs away and squeeze the core, draw the knees back in. So we're aiming to only extend the legs away as far as we can keep the lower back on the floor. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, moving with control. Option to stay there. Option to take chin to chest, squeeze the core, lifting the shoulders off the mat. And we're going to extend the legs away and squeeze back in again. So again, we're moving with control. We're extending chin to chest and squeeze back in. Option, take it further. Arms and legs move away from each other, so the arms mirror the movement of the legs. That longer lever length, hold a little bit if you can, and then come back in. So really strong through the core, moving away with control, squeezing the core, really powering your way back through center. Perfect, nice work. Moving there with control. Squeeze and drive in, knees to chest. For 5. Deep breaths in. And out. So make it slow, make it controlled. Really power into the abs. We're using the abdominals to stabilize that position of the lower back. 4. If the hands are going over the head, make sure the shoulders are staying down the back. We're practicing moving the shoulders without moving the hands over the head without the shoulders hunching up. 3. Almost there. 2. 1 more if you can. And 1. Nice job. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. From there, we're going to plant the palms face down. We're going to move into the thoracic spine, the upper spine. So we're going to press the hips high and squeeze the glutes. From there, we're going to take the palms face down. We're going to take the left hand. We're going to reach it up and over towards the right side of the mat, so the left shoulder comes up. And then we're going to plant it down again. Taking that onto the right, so we're going to lift. You can let the gaze follow that hand. So right shoulder lifts up, and then coming back down again, keeping the hips high. So we're just taking this little mobilization and movement through the upper back. We're keeping the core engaged, just mobilizing there. So you should feel like a nice little relief through the upper back. Often an area ends up quite tight, particularly if you've been working at a desk all day. Just aim to find some space. Squeezing the glutes, keeping the hips high. Or if you're feeling it, making it a little bit more intense, we're going to power the hips up high as we reach up and over, and then strong core as we lower down. So we're powering up, squeezing up in one fluid motion, and then coming back down again. Working here. So think about that power in the glutes and the quads. As we mobilize the upper body, we're building strength in the lower body. So super important, as you've probably heard me say a lot of times before, for the lower back and for the knees, to strengthen the quads and the glutes. Really, really, really key muscles the body to strengthen. Really big muscles as well. Great for raising that multibellic work. Working here for 5. So just enjoying that flow. Don't worry if the hand doesn't tap all the way over. Squeeze. 4. Well done. 3. So a lovely release through the shoulders. 2. And 1. Nice work. All right, give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. From there, we're going to plant the left foot down. Keep the hands hugging around the right thigh, the right shin. We're going to squeeze the glutes, press on up, slow lower. So we're taking this little bridge press. As we hug one knee in, we have to work really hard with the glutes to resist. If it needs to take it down a level, plant the hands down by the side. Keep that knee into chest. So we're either having hands underneath the right knee, which is a little bit harder, or we can have them on the floor. Back of the neck is long. Knee, ankle, hip stay in alignment. Squeeze to lift. Slowly control that lower. Thinking about power. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And we're getting a bit of work the front side of the body as well, finding flexibility there. Working here for 5. Well done. Slow, lower. 4, 3. So really squeeze, lift. And lower. 2. And 1. Swap over. Right foot grounds. Left foot comes in. Left hand's around underneath the left shin. Squeeze and glutes, lift. Engage the core to lower. So remember, we're focusing on control and squeezing on power. If you'd like to plant the hands down by the sides, feel free. Just takes a little bit of the work out of it. It means we don't have to resist that pressure downwards from the hands. We can use the hands to help with a little bit of support. So remember, you want to try to stabilize the knee, ankle, hip alignment. You want to squeeze your way up. Slow, lower down. Don't worry about height. You won't get as high as you would normally in a bridge press here, because we're asking the body to work all the weight through one leg, and we're also adding a little bit of downwards resistance. Working here for another 3. So squeeze on up. Slow, lower, really moving with control. 2. Well done. 1 more, press and lift. And lower, release. Take the hands to the knees. Draw some circles with the knees away from each other and towards each other. From there, we're going to plant the feet down. We're going to move back into the lower abdominals, this time a little more into the obliques. Planting the feet down, engage the core, fingertips, temple. Inhale and exhale. Lift up one leg, squeeze opposite elbow to knee. Slow, lower. So chin to chest, squeeze and crunch. So slowly lowering down. And when you're ready, chin to chest, squeeze, pulse and crunch. Option to stay there. Option to lift both legs off the mat. Chin to chest, squeeze. And we're going to extend one leg and return through center. So whenever the legs are off the floor, in Pilates, remember, we want the lower back on the floor. We're keeping chin to chest, so we're going to squeeze, extend, and crunch. Finding that power from the abdominals, from the midline. Awesome stuff. If you want to make it harder again, extend those legs out straight. And we're going to work the straight legged variation. As before, we're increasing the lever length, and that makes us have to work that little bit harder. The important thing is the lower back stays on the floor. We're using the breath. Inhale and exhale into that twist, power and strength from the abdominals, working into the obliques. Nice work. Working here for 5. Inhale. Exhale. 4. We're going to go back into the glutes next. 3. Inhaling. Exhale. 2. We're almost there. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Squeeze. Nice job. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And from there, plant the hands down. Final bridge-based exercise. We're going to march our bridge. So option 1, we can just take knee into chest, squeeze the core, reset. So really simple. We're just keeping the lower back on the floor, stabilizing. Try not to wiggle from side to side. If we can, throw those hips up high, squeeze, stabilize with the legs. We're going to march our bridge. So driving one knee into the chest, driving the other knee into the chest. Thinking about control, thinking about stability. Chest to chin. Awesome stuff, looking good. So drive that knee into chest. Stabilizing. So as you lift one knee in towards the chest, try and keep the rest of the body as still as you can. Squeeze, drive on in. Nice job. So think about what's lifting the hips up high here. So notice which muscles are switching on. Can you squeeze the bum a little harder? Can you squeeze the core? Make sure you're still breathing, of course. So really great strengthening exercise for the quads, for the glutes. We're getting some work for the abdominals here. So drive knees into chest. Working here for 5. Almost there. We're going to come up to prone next. 4. Well done. Squeeze. 3. Chest to chin. 2. 1 more. And release. Take the arms out wide. Windscreen the legs from side to side for 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Rock up and over. So coming all the way up here to a table position. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips. All right, so get your bear on. This is time for a bear or panther set. So we're going to start off in table pose. Hands underneath the shoulders. Squeeze the core. Thinking about making sure you're gripping down with the fingertips, pressing into the second knuckle. Press hard with the hands to the mat. Shoulder blades come apart. From there, we're going to tuck the toes, and we're in a panther or bear pose. So knees are hovering an inch or so off the mat, squeezing the core, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. From there, we're going to take a panther crawl. So we're going to aim to stay low with the hips as we move opposite hand and foot backwards. This is a great little one for the brain as well as for the core. We're trying not to pike the hips. So if you look down at your knees, you want to keep them just gliding an inch or so off the mat. So this is a really fantastic stability exercise. We're keeping the core engaged to keep the hips down low. We're working really hard into the quads. So having the legs in this bent position, similar to a plank, we're getting all of that strengthening work for the upper back and for the abs, but also getting a real belter work for the quads as well. Working here for 5. We're going to take a little stretch after this. So thinking about that strength, if you just need to hold that panther feel, 3, 4. Well done, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, release on down, nice stuff. Left hand plants, right hand reaches, inhale, lift, and exhale, stretch. Right shoulder comes down onto the mat, left hand walks out in front of you, lovely big stretch out through the shoulders, inhale, and exhale. So just enjoying that big deep stretch through the shoulders. Breathe, full steady breaths in and out. Working here for 3, inhale, exhale, 2, 1 more, inhale, exhale, and swapping over there, right hand plants, left hand lifts, inhale, and exhale, your left shoulder down onto the mat, right hand can creep out in front of you, stretching out, inhale, and exhale. So relaxing down, letting that left shoulder open up, the spine extend, full steady breaths in, and out. Relaxing, deep breaths in and out for 3. So slow breaths in and out. 2. Just releasing through the shoulders, through the spine. 1 more, a breath in. And out. Come back through center. Find your way to a panther pose. And from there, we're going to plant the hands, tuck the toes, and we're going to take a little panther shoot through. So we're going to lift the right hand up, extend the left foot under, dropping the hips down low, and then we're returning with control to our panther. So we're aiming to rotate, press, as the hips drop low, and then we squeeze the core, you power into the legs to come back through center. So think about lift and squeeze, power back up. So it's a lovely opening movement. The lower you drop the hips, the stronger the work is going to be to come back through center. So lifting and squeeze. If it's too much, if that's not working for you, you can just open that out from a plank instead. Just placing 1 foot under, 1 foot under. So if you can, we're just going to hover the knees, squeeze, and we're going to shoot through. So if you drop the hips down, you then have to power back up. Awesome stuff, looking good at home. Really nice rotating movement. We're opening through the chest, getting a lovely bit of full body work. One of my favorite little exercises, this, hitting full body, moving through lots of different planes. Working here for 5, squeeze and rotate. 4, remember keep the core engaged. As always in Pilates, think into those muscles, notice what's working, see if you can find that engagement. 2, and 1, release, knees down to the mat, walk the hands out in front of you, and stretch out, inhale, and exhale. So letting the hips lift high, the shoulders don't release down the mat, deep breath in, and for 3, deep, full inhales. Exhales, 2. 1 more full, steady inhale. And exhale. Perfect. From there, roll on up and find your way to a forearm plank. So we're going to find our forearm plank. So tucking the toes, hips are in line with shoulders. If you need to drop the knees, do so, but try and drop them far back so you can see there's one long line still from head to toes. So we're squeezing in the glutes. I'm just going to work into a jacksaw there. So just gently using the toes to move the body weight forwards and backwards. Thinking about that strong core. Thinking about trying to build strength in the shoulders, in the abdominals here. Working here for 5. So squeeze the core, move with control, make it as slow, as strong as possible. Make sure the shoulder blades aren't coming apart. Just hold your forearm plank if you need to. 4. Well done. Engage the quads. Engage the core. 3. Almost there. 2. We're going to come down to our tummies next. 1 more. And release the hips down low. Finding your way into a little sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders. Just letting the chest reach up. The shoulders move down the back. Releasing the spine. Inhale. And exhale for 3. Full breaths in. And out 2. And 1. Release down there. From there, we're going to bring the forehead to the mat. And we're going to take the elbows out wide. So the elbows are out in line with the shoulders. From there, we're going to lift the hands up, keeping the forehead on the mat. So we're lifting up the hands and the elbows and lowering again. So it's called little Ys. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. You should feel quite a lot of work in the upper back, stretching through the chest, and then slow lower down. So the forehead stays on the mat. So what we're aiming to do here is isolate the muscles of the upper back. Try not to feel like the elbows are lifting up before the hands, but find that sense of hands and elbows both lifting at once and then lowering at once. So we're going to squeeze on up and lower down again, working here for another 3. So aiming to build strength in those back muscles that help draw the shoulders down the back. 2. 1 more. Y. W. And release. From there, extend the arms out to a Y position. So feel YMCA down on the floor here. And we're going to take the same again. So the forehead stays down. And we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and the arms lift. And then slowly lower. So similar to last time. Make sure that that Y position hasn't drawn the shoulders up past the ears. We're just aiming to squeeze, feel that work in the middle to upper back, and then lower down again. So those arms extend, feel that squeeze in the central back, and lower down. So really important part of the body to strengthen. Just giving a little bit of attention here again, particularly if you spend a lot of time at a desk. Super important. Working here for 5. Squeeze and lower. 4. Well done. 3. Finding that power. 2, almost there. And 1, hands underneath the shoulders. And from there, tuck the toes, squeeze the core, press up to plank. And we're going to take a little inchworm. So this is our final plank-based exercise. Walking the hands back towards the feet, finding our way into a floppy forward fold. Remember, you can spend as long as you like here. You might want to stay there. And then when you're ready, walk it out. Find your way into a plank. Or if you're feeling it, drop down into a press up, strong core. Come on back up. So we're trying not to wiggle the hips from side to side, bending the knees if you need to, dynamically stretching down the backs of the legs. If you're new to a press up, I'll talk you through a modification. You can come into a plank. From there, drop the knees, move the body weight forward, so we're still keeping that line down the back, bend the elbows, and then up. From there, tuck the toes, come back up. So what we want to do is, as we lower into a press up, we want to keep the sense of stability. How we're going to get access to the core is by maintaining that one long line from the hips to the back, to the top of the head. So that's what we're aiming for. So either from kneeling or from plank, we're aiming to stabilize. We're squeezing the core really hard and stabilizing. There's one long line down the spine. So we want that same sense, even if we're on the knees, we want to find that same sense of moving down in one piece and up in one piece. Awesome stuff. So squeezing the core as hard as you can, taking just a few more forwards. And back. Nice work. Going to take one more. So one more walk forwards. We're building strength in the core and the arms here. And walk it back. And from there, just roll on up. Shoulders down the back. Nice job. All right, we're going to move into our standing sequence here. So from here, we're going to start off with our running man into a cross crunch. I really like this one. I always think we've essentially got school crossing sign into 90s raver here. So we're going to take the right foot forwards, the left foot back. From there, we're going to take a sort of school crossing sign man type movement. And then we're going to squeeze opposite elbow to knee, little standing crunch. So little school crossing man sign. So we'll bend the right leg, the left foot moves behind you, and then we squeeze the core opposite elbow to knee, standing, twist and crunch. So we're thinking about moving the body weight backwards, getting that sort of skier-like thing. What you'll feel there is this right quad was working really hard to stabilize, working on balance, and then we're going to squeeze, twist, work into the abdominals, into the obliques. If you want to make it harder, you can take the left hand all the way down to the right foot, come quite down, but make sure you're bending that right leg, it's not straight, and then we're going to squeeze and cross right from the bottom. If that's too much, you can just step back into a lunge, step forwards, and then take a standing crunch. So it's falling over. So that's your modification. We step back into a lunge, step forwards, and then a standing crunch. If you can, we're going to sink down low, opposite hand comes towards the floor, and then squeeze, power up, twist using the abdominals. So to make it slow, make it controlled. So we're sinking down. So we want to bend the right leg. Make sure that right leg is bending. So if you're coming into depth, make sure that's it. You're keeping bending that right leg. Squeeze the core. So we're essentially taking a single leg squat into a standing crunch. Well done. So a little bit of a lower, looking good, into that squeeze and twist. Perfect. Working here for 5. Slow, lower, and powerful squeeze and lift. 4. That right leg is starting to burn. 3. So moving balance, really important skill to develop. We're practicing that ability to control movement as we move. 2. And 1. Switch on over. Whoo! Blimey. Give that leg a little shake. All right, let's go on the other side. So left foot is in the center of the mat. We're going to take that school crossing sign. And then we're going to squeeze left elbow to right knee. So we're thinking about squeezing the core, sinking down low, try to stabilize, and then power and squeeze, twist. Remember, if you want to take it further, you could take that right hand down. Make sure if you bring the hand down, you're still bending that left leg. So it's slightly different from our straight leg deadlift that we do also in Pilates. You want to find that bend of the leg, so we've got more of a backward squat. So make it as slow as you can. So remember, it doesn't matter about how many you do. Slower you go, the harder the work. We want to focus on stability. Awesome stuff, looking good. So we're squeezing the glutes. So again, think about which muscles you're engaging, which muscles you're recruiting as you twist. We're working into the abdominals, into the obliques, and we're using the quad to find stability in the standing leg. As we bend down, you're using the core to balance, and then when you come back up, it's the glutes that are really going to fire up to fire that into that lift. Nice stuff. So deep breaths in and out, working here. 5. So this is the first of our 2 standing exercises. 4, twist. Well done. 3. So keep that bend, keep it slow. 2. And 1. Nice work. Give yourself a massive little shake. All right, our next one, we're going to take the right foot into the center of the mat, the left foot back. So we're coming into a lunge. So make sure your feet aren't on a tightrope walk. Take them wider if you need to. Make sure you set yourself up with that stability. From there, we're going to move from a lunge, and then we're going to transfer the weight forwards. Don't fall over. Left knee lifts, and then we're extending the left leg out. Standing kick, left knee back in. Careful transfer backwards. So the idea here is we're moving, using this right leg, we're transferring the weight forwards, lifting, knee comes into the chest, and if you can, we're going to stretch it out, try not to lean backwards, then knee comes back in, we step back. If you want to make it harder again, knee drop, squeeze the glutes as you lift, and then lift, knee to chest, extend, kick. So as always, your modification, you can kind of find your lunge. You can step forwards, stop halfway, and then drive knee to chest. Tap down, step back. Well, again, we're thinking about recruiting the quads and the glutes. Maybe that knee drop, you're thinking about using the left quad. As we come up to standing, we're stabilizing using the core. We're kicking out, challenging that balance. Perfect. Won't be here too long. Just working here for 5. So squeeze, move with control. Remember, you want to make it slow and powerful. 4. Well done. 3. Really strong. 2. Almost there. Perfect. And 1. Swap on over. Left foot forwards, right foot back. Spinning the hips around, shoulders back. And from there, when you're ready, we're going to move the body weight forwards, stabilize. Knee lift, squeeze the core, and then extend. So think about this in stages. You want to make it slow. Remember, it's the muscles that are doing the work here. Remember, you can add in that knee drop if you're feeling it. We don't want to use momentum to kick and swing. So slightly different from maybe if we're in a HIIT class where we might be using the momentum to swing up and getting a bit more dynamic flexibility. The idea here is you want to really squeeze the core as you drive knee to chest, squeeze the abs, kick on out, try not to lean backwards, looking good at home. So knee drop, optional, squeeze. Remember the core engages, the muscles, the legs engage. That's what's going to bring you up with control. You're kicking out, squeezing, getting loads of work for the quad and the hammies as well there. Nice work. Working here. 5. Well done. 4. Knee to chest. Kicking out. 3. 2. Almost there. And 1. Perfect. Give yourself a little shake out. I'm just going to take a little standing stretch there. So move your right foot in the centre of the mat. Take the left foot behind the right. And then take the left hand up and over. Press the hips out towards the left side. So we're just stretching out through the side body. Inhale. And exhale. Swapping over there. Just going to hook the right foot around and reach the right hand up and over. So we're just pressing the hips out towards the right side now. Just aiming to lengthen out through the side body. Deep breath in. And inhale up. Perfect. And from there, we're just going to take chin to chest, rolling down. Find our way to plank. And then to a pigeon pose. Left knee behind left wrist. Looking over your right shoulder. Right knee, ankle, hips slide out behind you. And stretching forwards into our pigeon pose. So lovely little release to the hips. Shoulders relaxing. Nice work. Inhale. Exhale. So really full breaths in. And out. Well done. Working here for 3. Deep full breaths in. And out. 2. Taking 1 more deep full inhale. And exhale. Sweep that right foot around to the right corner of the mat. Left foot comes in. Inhale, reach up, angle the body over that right leg. And fold forward, stretch forward. Letting the right hip move backwards, the spine extend. Inhale. And exhale. Shoulders relaxing, spine is extending. Full breath to reach and extend. Exhale to relax. Well done. Working here for 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more breath in. And out. Reach up tall. Inhale. And exhale. Twist. Right hand to left knee. Left hand out behind you. Ground down with the sit bones. Engage the core. Lift. And rotate and twist for 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. And 1. Right foot in front of left, crossing the legs. And find your way back to plank. Moving straight into pigeon. Right knee behind right wrist. Right toes turning out towards the left side of the mat. Left knee, ankle, hips slide up behind you. And then folding down. We've worked the legs really hard today. So finding that lovely stretch out there, right into the back of the right leg. Perfect. Deep breaths in. And out, relaxing the shoulders, the head, the eyes, maybe folding down with deep breaths in. And so thinking about lengthening the front side of the body, stretching out through the hips. Working here for 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more full steady breath in. And walking the hands up there, sweeping the left foot out towards the left corner of the mat. Right foot comes in, flexing the left foot, inhale, angle the body over the left foot and fold forwards. Drawing the left hip back, deep breath in. And stretching out long for 5, inhale. Exhale, so we're just gently melting the body forwards, 4. Shoulders relax, head relaxes, 3. Well done, 2. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, take a little counter twist. Inhale to lift and twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you, stretching out for 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. So shoulders relaxing, 1 more breath in. And out. Perfect. From there, coming through center, we're going to find the sit bones, hug the body into a little ball, squeezing the core. The toes float away from the mat. From there, we're going to rock back and lift, squeeze the core, and we are using the abs to resist. So we're just rolling like a ball, is what this exercise is called. And squeeze, so the toes don't touch down. We're aiming to squeeze, 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 release. So either staying there, or if you'd like to make it harder, we're going to take the knees out, the soles of the feet together, take the hands under the thighs, so we're holding onto the tops of the shins, and then we can reach and squeeze, taking this little seal variation. So we're rocking back and squeeze the core to lift. So getting a nice little opening through the heels here in the seal variation, really lift up, use the abs, perfect. So either rolling with the hands underneath the feet or taking the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide for this little seal variation. Perfect. We're working here. So we're creating momentum, we're resisting that momentum for 5. So squeezy movements, 4. Perfect. 3, 2. Nice work. 1 more. And release. Ground down with the feet and roll all the way down to lie on your back. Hug the knees in, little squeeze, and from there we are going to move either into a toe tap or a C crunch. So option 1, lower back on the floor, slowly lowering both toes to the floor, squeezing the core to lift back up. So nice and simple double toe tap, making sure the lower back stays on the floor. If you'd like to make this into a C crunch, we're going to take the fingertips to the temples, and then we're going to take chin to chest, squeeze the elbows and the thighs together, shoulders come off the mat, and then we're slowly lowering head and toes away from each other. You have to really engage the core tight here to keep that control. So we're squeezing, elbows and thighs come together. Hold it there if you can. Slow lower. If you'd like to make it harder, we're going to take chin to chest, squeeze, bring elbows to thighs. From there, we're going to release the hands, clap, and return. So we're spending quite a long time in that top part of the movement. So make sure that when you lower the head and the feet, you're doing that with control. So squeeze, option to bring the hands together, and then take the fingertips back to temple, and then lower down. Think about doing this in stages, so you're getting the most out of each stage. So chin to chest, squeeze, crunching, elbows to thighs, bring the hands through, return, slow lower. Well done. So chin to chest, squeezy, squeezy movement, bring the hands through, return, slow lower. Well done. Working here for 10. So squeeze, maybe a little clap. 9. Well done. 8. So really feel that power, that strength. 7. Squeeze, clap. 5. Well done. 4. Almost there. 3. Hanging in there. 2. And 1. Nice job. Left leg extends, hugging with the right knee. Take a little twist. So just gently drawing that left knee across the body, that right knee across the body, the right hand extends, inhale. And exhale, relax that right shoulder down, deep breaths in. And out for 3. So full steady breaths. 2. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Swapping over there, right leg extends. Hugging with left and take a twist. Drawing that left knee across the body, opening out with the left arm, inhale. Exhale for 3. Well then 2. And 1, come back through center. Hug the knees in, give yourself a little squeeze. And from there, take the arms out wide, lower back on the floor, knees over the hips. We're going to slowly lower the legs from one side. Squeeze the core to lift back through center. Make sure the lower back stays on the floor. And then slowly lower the legs to the other side. So the idea here is we're using the abdominals to draw the knees back through center. And then we're going to slowly lower, keeping both shoulders down on the back. Squeezy, squeezy movements. Maybe extending the legs up to the sky. And working there. Perfect. Squeeze the core. Lift up and over. Shoulders release down. Make it slow. Make it controlled. Feel that power. Well done. So we're aiming to get into the lower abdominals, into the obliques. So remember, you adjust the intensity of this movement. Smaller movements, heels into bum will be easier. Bigger movements, slower movements with legs extended will be harder. Anywhere in between. This is a lovely way to mobilize and release through the spine. through the chest as well. So feel that power, that strength for 5. Well done. 4. These strong movements. 3. Lifting up and over. 2. And 1. Come back through center. Give yourself a little squeeze. From there, we're going to plant the left leg down on the floor. Right foot's going to come up to the sky. And we're going to draw some circles with that right leg. So squeeze the core. Keep the lower back on the floor. If you'd like to make it harder, the left leg is going to extend into the sky, strong through the core. And we're just going to draw semicircles with that right leg, keeping that left foot where it is, lower back on the floor. So we're mobilizing through the hips. Remember, if you need to have a bend in the knees, that's absolutely fine. Getting all of those benefits there. What we're aiming to do here is mobilize through the hips and keeping the lower back on the floor, stabilizing. Remember, you can plant that left foot if you prefer. Working here for 5. So slow, controlled movements. 4. Well done. Try to use the core. Try not to swing it. 3. Great job. 2. 1 more. And release. Right foot grounds, left foot lifts. Starting off, same again. Right foot down, slow movement with the left leg. Soft bend through the knee if you prefer. Aiming to mobilize through the hip. Lower back stays on the floor. Right foot to the sky, make it harder. There. So squeeze the core. Make sure the lower back stays on the floor. Taking the legs out wide. So really feel that power on the way up. Slow lower down. So we're taking an asymmetric movement here. The core has to work really hard to keep both hips grounded. Perfect. Really nice mobilization for the hips as well. For 5. Well done. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Give yourself a little squeeze, little stretch. Perfect. And from there, let's just take a little happy baby. Peace sign fingers around the big toes, knees in towards the armpits, and have a little rock and roll. A little stretch out there. Full breaths in. And out. So shoulders are relaxing, stretching out through the lumbar spine, through the hips for 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Perfect. 1 more deep, full breath in. And out. Perfect. From there, final little exercise, we're going to extend the right leg out long, take the left leg to the sky, chin to chest, squeeze the core, lift and grab hold of the left thigh or the left shin, or if you need to, you can just bend that left knee. Right leg lifts off the floor. We're going to squeeze the core, draw the knee into the nose, so we're finding hamstring flexibility and abdominal strength, holding there. 3. So keep that chin to chest, using the core to lift. 2. 1, swapping over. So squeeze and lift. Remember, you can plant that left foot down if you need to. You can take a bend in that right knee if you need to. So squeeze, 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 stretch. We're working on flexibility and strength. Shoulders relax. 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Swapping over. Keep that lower back on the floor. Stretch in. 3. Shoulders down. Lift. 2. 1. Swap. Squeeze and stretch in. 3. Well done. 2. 1. Swapping over. Squeeze, draw that knee in towards the nose. Lovely flexibility work. 3, shoulders back. 2. And 1, swapping over. Lift and squeeze. Stretch that knee in towards the nose. Really drawing in there. 3, 2, 1. Final time. Left. Squeeze and hold. Stretch. 3, 2, 1. And right. Stretch. 3. Drawing in. 2. And 1. Release. Well done there. From there, just take the soles, the feet together, stretch out with the arms, inhale, exhale, and either staying there, or if you prefer to extend the legs out long, or let the knees knock in, any little comfortable positions that feel good. Tucking the shoulders down the back, closing the eyes, and breathe. Deep breaths in, and out. Letting the shoulders release and relax, the hips release. The knees fall open. Inhale. Exhale. Working here for 5. Deep breaths in. And out. 4. 3, 2. Taking one more really deep inhale. Exhale. From there, give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And rock your way up to seated from there. Just taking our final little shoulder stretches. So starting off, we're just going to interlock the hands behind the back. Squeeze, press the chest forward. Deep breath in. And out. And then take both of those hands over to the left hip. Draw the right shoulder down and let the left ear come down towards the left shoulder. So we're stretching out down the right side of the neck. Deep breath in. And swapping over. Take those interlocked hands over to the right hip. Draw the left shoulder down. Inhale. And exhale. Drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Deep breath in. And from there, interlock the hands. Stretch up to the sky. Draw the core in and the hips down. Inhale. Lengthen. And exhale. Chin to chest. Pressing the backs of the hands towards the mirrors. Just taking a final deep breath in. And from there, give yourself a little shoulder roll. And when you're ready, inhale to. Exhale, hands back to heart. Have a really lovely rest day. Thank you all so much for joining. Namaste. Well done, team. Well done.